The referee is Sean Hurson from Tyrone. It's his very first All-Ireland Senior Final. The Galway man took charge of this year's Club All-Ireland Final. Linesman Paddy Nealon of Roscommon, Barry Cassidy from Derry, sideline official Sean Laverty from Antrim. The conditions are pretty perfect. There is a strong wind which is swirling in front of Hill 16. It will be Galway to attack Hill 16 in the first half. Galway have won 4 out of 4 of the throw-ins at the start of either halves in their last 2 games. They got a couple of points off them as well. So here we go. The Kingdom against the Tribe for Sam Maguire 2022. The game is on, and David Moran had the ball, then lost it, and we've got a free inside a couple of seconds, and it's a free for Kerry.
Paul Conroy touched it on the ground.
That's David Moran. He's launching it in long. They're kicking already. Gleeson was out after it. Gainey was furthest forward. That is out for a 45, is it? Who did it come off? Yes, a 45. Whoa. Well, we wondered about Kerry. How often will they test out Gleeson?
He seems to be indicating free. So maybe there was something late after the ball was kicked in long, Darrell. We might pick it up in the replay. But it's Shawnee O'Shea territory, isn't it?
So it's not a 45, it's a free for Shawnee O'Shea. Remember that free from a couple of weeks ago. 24-year-old is the Kerry captain on the field. And this one, judging by the one he kicked in the semi-final, is much closer in. Oh, and he's missed it. He has missed it. And for a free taker, that's not a good start. But we did see him will have that penalty saved. He's very strong mentally. Just have a look here. So look where the referee was playing an advantage, yeah.
Well, I was watching the long one because, of course, we were looking out for that. The early start that's tested Conor Gleeson right up with a long ball and dealt with it reasonably well.
So Conor Gleeson, first kick out, and he belts it long, right down the middle. Oh, that's a wonderful take by Jack Barry. So Galway have got to get their defensive system and shape in place very quickly. Here comes Gavin White. White just lifts that in. They are going to try and target Gleeson. He went with both fists and dealt with that. Could have caught it perhaps.
Yes, that's what I was expecting him to do, but it's early days. He's a little bit nervous, but he punched it out to advantage, out to his corner men.
Wasn't it the 19 final replay against Dublin that Kerry started trying to test out the Dublin full back line early on? Well, it didn't really work for them that day.
That's 2 already.
2 inside 2 minutes. Here's John Daly. Just gets it from Killian McDade. Kieran Malloy. So after that frantic enough start, Galway would like some possession. This is Patrick Kelly for Rob Finnerty. Finnerty there with Graham O'Sullivan. Jason Foley has Damien Comer.
He had the front position, Rob Finnerty. He seemed to just stop as the ball was coming towards him. But he has the sideline. Yeah, I'm just looking at the matchups.
Clifford and Kelly.
Yeah, Clifford and Sean Kelly. And you were right on Comer, as we expected. Jason Foley.
Dylan McHugh gives it back to Patrick Kelly. Oh, Kelly spots the run. Here comes Liam Silk. We thought he'd be marking down at the other end. Liam Silk, there was a very important touch on that, which put it out. That would be a 45. Well, that certainly was something different. We thought he might have even been marking David Clifford, but Liam Silk attacking, driving forward. They've got a 45 out of it. Shane Walsh time.
Yeah, don't lose sight either, Dara, that it was Sean O'Shea. That's who he's marking. That's who tracked him. So good tracking there. And it was him that got the hand in for the flick. I'm pretty sure, yes, it was.
Yeah. So now, Shane Walsh.
Well, wasn't it an nervy one by Shawnee O'Shea earlier on? We expected him to get that one, and likewise, well, this is the standard these boys operate at. We expect him to get this one.
Well, wasn't it the Mayo game in Castlebar? He was putting these over for fun from even further out, and doesn't even seem to kick the ball that hard. That is a spectacular shot. Looking down at Shane Ryan's goal. So here is Shane Walsh. That wind is getting stronger. It's really difficult to judge, but we reckon it's helping. Walsh just chips it in, and Walsh has put that over, and there's the first point of the 2022 All-Ireland final. Galway lead in the 5th minute.
Well, it was running out of gas. The kick was he just made it. That swirling breeze certainly wasn't helping, and it just clipped the crossbar on the left-hand side. Both umpires nod. Opening score.
Kerry go long on their kick out. Gavin White. All sorts of speculation about it, but he's fit and flying fit. Here's Stephen O'Brien. Will carry a lot of ball today. Dylan McHugh in front of him. Now it's David Clifford, just mishandled it a bit. Then it pops off the chest of Dermot O'Connor, heading towards the end line. O'Connor's got some space. Wow, he's got right under that. Now this could still go over, or has it gone wide? We're going to have a look at Hawkeye. First use of Hawkeye today.
Had he his medical checkup during the week?
I think he did. But Dermot O'Connor, that was a sky ball.
Snow on it, as they say, but it looked wide. It seemed to get the near post. Yeah.
We reckon it is wide. Yeah, well wide. Now look, the officials, the umpires back there, right to use the technology. It was working there, we hope. No, it is. It's all been checked out and everything's 100%. Long kick out from Gleeson again. Favours the other side. Morley right underneath that. Galway didn't get players to the drop zone there, and that was a free one. Kerry win the Galway kick out. They've kicked 2 wides in the final so far. Dermot O'Connor, Brian O'Biogliuk. What a strong finish to the Dublin match he had. Dermot O'Connor. Now it's out to Jack Barry. Galway have the sweepers, looks like 2 of them at the moment, although it could actually be 4, but there's markers in there. The sweepers, ball turned over. Dermot O'Connor went down on it. Referee says play on. Galway turn Kerry over, and Kerry, well, with Paddy Tally in there, they thrive on turnovers, but that's a massive turnover for Galway. We expected that Kerry would come out and try and blitz Galway in the first few minutes, that Galway would sit in and just soak up the pressure. They sat in that time.
Just another matchup for you, Shane Walsh and Tom O'Sullivan. They're well welded to each other on and off the ball. I just haven't picked up Paddy Clifford's one yet. They're leaving him a bit loose in the pocket.
John Daly, Kieran Malloy. There's 3 Corofin lads in that Galway defence. Kieran is one of them. Dylan McHugh. McHugh kicks the ball in long to Patrick Kelly. He will keep it in play. Kelly has Gavin White in tow. Now where's Tyke Morley? Galway trying to pick their way through this Kerry defence. Patrick Kelly. They come back out the field. Matthew Tierney. They have developed great patience over the course of this championship run, Galway. Now they go in low. That was Finnerty. Comer couldn't hang on. Galway will still have it. Foley was behind him. That's going to be some race in terms of pace. There's John Daly. What a fantastic pass. It's Johnny Heaney. Heaney's in. Oh, brilliant block. Wonderful block. It's gone for the point, though. It could so easily have been a goal. But there's one of those world-class passes from John Daly. He's done it all year. Galway could have been in for a goal.
Yeah, I think it's Stephen O'Brien. Yeah, he throws himself down. That's what you do on All-Ireland final day. And he saves the goal. What a pass from Daly. We knew he had that in his locker. We saw that in the earlier semi-final.
This is not going according to most people's scripts in the build-up. All the hundreds of hours of broadcasting, podcasting, all sorts of stuff. There's Clifford with a brilliant catch and a wonderful mark. And my word, Kerry needed that. A moment of brilliance from the Fossa man. And this is going to be the first point. Yeah, just tapped over by David Clifford. They needed a big moment just to calm it down.
Oh, that's superb. Kelly right beside him, but he just is too good on that high one. And made and manufactured, all done by himself, David Clifford.
So Gleeson isn't really mad about the short kick-outs. Although we had Dylan McHugh free there, you can see him on the just shy of the 45-metre line. That's a bit shorter, and that's gone wrong. A failure of kick-out time for Gleeson. You had McHugh there earlier. That's why he wants to kick it long. Here's David Clifford, sends it in low. Galway look a bit stretched. They didn't get set up. There's Stephen O'Brien. O'Brien sends it back to Paul Gainey, and Gainey has put that one wide. The Kerry forwards are misfiring early on. There's a lot of nerves out there.
And the Galway goalkeeper is taking his time. He's not rushing them, even though he is losing them long. There's no question about that. He needs to get the accuracy back into it for an overload, but a little bit shorter this time.
Now Sean Kelly and David Clifford will go back the field with him. We know that Sean Kelly loves to get forward. John Daly. Oh, there's some space there. Clifford couldn't get near him. Daly will fill it, still going. There's the foot pass in. Here's Shane Walsh. Walsh with the shot, and Walsh with the score. The Galway crowd on Hill 16 roaring that one over. He got out in front. The Kerry defence just not tight enough. Galway 3, Kerry 1, 10 minutes in.
Well, that's what you don't want from a Kerry perspective now, is Shane Walsh to come alive and catch fire on All-Ireland final Sunday, because he is accurate and he is streaky and he'd go for it.
David Moran under that, it breaks. Galway though have won the Kerry kick out. It'll come straight back at Shane Ryan. Here's Matthew Tierney, the NUIG Sigerson captain. Brilliant challenge from Dermot O'Connor, turning the ball over. That's Paddy Tally written all over it. Here's Tadhg Morley. Space far side. How quickly can Kerry, well, they call it a transition now, but basically it's just get the ball forward as quickly as possible. Here's Paudie Clifford in a very wide position. Tom O'Sullivan, he knows how to score. He's actually joined 4th on the scoring charts for Kerry this year. Paudie Clifford. So now Galway have settled in. They've left, well, one player forward. Shane Walsh is the furthest forward. Out of picture, Damien Comer is coming back towards his own 65. Kerry have got to work around the edges. Paul Gainey. Jack Barry. Gainey again. The Dingle man. Just tops it up for bringing up Yoglick. There's a little bit of space here. Here's Jason Foley up from fullback. They want to get the ball to the shooters, and Jason Foley is not one of them. That's wide. 4 of them now. So Gleeson's got the ball back in play already. Targeted Patrick Kelly. There he is at kick-out time. Brilliant from Kelly. White is behind it. Rob Finnerty was screaming for it. Again, they just punt it in. Oh, and that referee is a free in. Shane Walsh is showing brilliantly for the ball. Lovely little nudge pass from Rob Finnerty. Free into Galway. Has to be a point. They'll stretch it out to 4-1. Yeah, I think it's David Moran's intervention by the foot, and he trips over him, and the referee calls it immediately. Just here. Well, it's actually his shoulder. I think he slips into the tackle, actually. Yeah, he was unfortunate,
yeah,
David, wasn't he?
Has to be said, yeah. But the free in nonetheless.
So Walsh will take the free himself, but not. It's a worrying sight for Cian O'Neill and Pádraig Joyce. He's still got that little earphone in. I'd love to know who he's talking to. Walsh will be okay. So many different dimensions as well, Kevin. Cian O'Neill was with Kerry under Eamon Fitzmaurice. Paddy Tally was with Galway with Kevin Walsh.
They know each other.
Tyrone in 03.
Yeah, that's right. They actually know each other inside out. I was saying previously, look, the amount of tape and statistics they're pouring over. There's nothing they don't know.
Out of the handoff is left. Shane Walsh, there you go, right over the black spot. He's got 3. It's 4-1.
If we're just pushing towards the first quarter, as it used to be when we had the water breaks, 4-1 is, oh wow, that's beyond Galway's opening dream, I think, isn't it?
Well, there was a certain narrative as Ryan keeps it lower this time. That's a good kick out to pick out Jack Barry in space running onto it. The narrative was that Kerry would blitz Galway and build up a big lead. Galway had been making slow starts. Not today, sir. Here is Paul Gainey. Gainey tops it out to Dermot O'Connor. He's got in around the back. Kieran Malloy there. O'Connor took an awful lot of steps on it. There was a short pull in there. It's going to be a free in. There were a fair few steps as well. O'Connor goes down. Kerry will get their second point through David Clifford. Galway looked a bit open there.
Yeah, it did, and I'm not so sure the foul was required, even though he had gone inside. Kieran Malloy is the fouler on this occasion, certainly a free in. They almost had Paul Gainey surrounded in the earlier play, but Gainey just tidied it up with a lovely little hand pass inside, and now the free results, and guess who's on this, and guess who's going to score.
Still only 23 years of age.
Hard to believe.
He seems like he's been around for 10 years. Well, Jack O'Connor and Mike Quirk beside him just chilling out.
Well, like everyone in the stadium, just trying to figure out what's happening. Are the matchups balanced? Where are we getting some dividend? Where are we struggling? And then making the decisions to correct what he can.
You can see Gleeson looking to his left because Sean Kelly had made a break. It's Kieran Malloy instead, so the shorter kick out worked for Galway. It's quite clammy in Croke Park. It's very pleasant, not necessarily if you're down there racing around the place. Rob Finnerty. Again, there's just a directness about Galway. Shane Walsh. Walsh has Tom O'Sullivan there with him. That's already turned into a big battle. Patrick Kelly has seen a lot of ball for Galway. That's Liam Silk who got a hand in. Now Galway could be caught up the field, and Galway, Liam Silk happy to give away the free there to allow them to get back down and set up. Now David Moran had the ball 18 times in 50 minutes against Dublin, kicked it 12 times. Hand pass to Brian O'Biogliach. Galway got back. Jack Barry, Diarmuid O'Connor. Kerry's 2 points, both from place balls. Here's Stephen O'Brien wriggling away from Patrick Kelly. Again, he sends it back out to Jack Barry. Kerry faced with the same issue. Tig Morley. Bringing up the ugly up. Kerry patience required. Toddy Clifford. It is a big challenge to get through. They need something different. There's Graham O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan pops it up to Stephen O'Brien. And Graham O'Sullivan is still available. O'Brien spots a gap. Just that injection of pace. Now Paul Gainey. Another wide. Another one. That is 5 of them. And Kerry are not firing up front, which is a big surprise at this stage.
Well, I count that as 2 for Paul Gainey as well. I'm sure we'll check it, but he's had a 4 semi-final, and I was watching him in particular. I was expecting something big from him in the first quarter.
While you were watching that, there was a beautiful kick out to John Daly racing onto the ball, secured with the minimum of fuss. Here's Shane Walsh. 2 Kerry men around him. Walsh having a go. Oh, that is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. He's on it today. That's great news for Galway. It could be very bad news for Kerry, but Shane Walsh is on fire early on. So are Galway. 5-2.
I'll tell you, Darren, that's the point of the championship. He cut inside here, waiting to get a step on them, and then that explosive pace we know he has, and he walloped it. There must have been 10 metres of curve on it.
But go back, 60 seconds. Gainey's kicking a wide. Kerry have kicked 5 of them. Galway just nonchalantly, Conor Gleeson sent the kick out. That's in towards Paul Gainey. They go in long and high. Okay, he's claimed the mark. This will be fair enough. He'll kick it on the 13-metre line, but those misses are surely in his mind. Well, this is a very experienced player.
This is massive for him now. He's got a good mark, an easy mark, but can he get the accuracy? He can.
Yeah, no score from play for Kerry. 2 marks and a free. David Clifford got the other 2. Gainey, that was a big kick for him, and he was up to it.
Well, he is very experienced, and the more experience you have of this arena, the easier it is to put those misses behind you and move on.
And look, here's the thing. Kerry have been misfiring up front. They're creating chances. The Galway lead is only 2. No short one this time from Gleeson. It hangs up there. Barry went up after it. Paul Conroy there too. It breaks loose. Kerry, with sheer weight and numbers, get their hands on the ball. Brian O'Biogliach. That's Stephen O'Brien now. O'Brien to Gavin White. David Clifford deeper out. Sean Kelly not close enough to him, and Clifford has scored from play. Kerry's first point from play from David Clifford, and he wants them to lift it. They're a point behind.
Well, I think it's fair to say now this is the Clifford Walsh show so far. 2 of the finest players in the country. We talked about their skill. You heard the boys talking about the skill levels they both possess. This is a magnificent start from both of them.
Well, there was a lot made of the Sigerson final, NUIG, and Clifford playing for Limerick IT, and he didn't score from play. He got plenty of place balls and stuff. Sean Kelly wasn't his direct marker. He was the sweeper in front of him, and they rotated at times. But Clifford didn't score from play in that game. He's got one in the 22 All-Ireland final. Here is Sean Kelly, and David Clifford has not gone out the field with him to try and track him. Diarmuid O'Connor was there, so they're going to pass Kelly on if he goes forward. Here's Paul Conroy, 33 years young. Johnny Heaney. That's for Killian McDade. We haven't really mentioned him at all so far. McDade is surrounded with Tyrone-like tackling. Ball turned over. McDade's mistake. Here's David. Clifford again. Gleeson retreating to his line. Galway flooding defenders back to try and take up the correct positions for their shape. Tom O'Sullivan, Seanie O'Shea, bringing up Biogliuk. There's Johnny Heaney. Dermot O'Connor has seen a lot of the ball. Paudie Clifford. Jack Barry. Nice take from Stephen O'Brien. Head down, then the head up, and O'Brien gets to the edge of the D and shoots and scores. That's where they want to be. Galway, well, their defensive system didn't work that well. 5-all. Nothing to see here from a Kerry point of view in terms of panic.
Well, you mentioned earlier when Stephen O'Brien's on it, Dara, I think the word used was wriggling, and that's what he is, a wriggler. The head goes down, he takes on a stand, then he gets up to his full height, sees what's in front of him. He's been brilliant at it for years.
There could be a problem. There is a problem for Paul Conroy, as you see Sean Kelly and Conor Gleeson deep in conversation about the kick-out strategy, but Paul Conroy down injured. I wonder...
there might be no harm that this injury has occurred. Is it the blood? Is it at the nose? I'm not sure, but might just quieten it down a little bit from Galway's perspective.
Twice Galway have had 3-point cushions. It's been wiped out. Kerry have got the last 3 in a row. And this is an interesting kick out for Conor Gleeson from Dunmore McHale's. He's going to belt it long. No short options. They've overloaded the far side, the Cusack stand side, but it's gone right down the middle towards Comer. Foley got a hand in, but Galway win the loose ball. Dylan McHugh, Rob Finnerty. Again, they want to kick it in. Shane Walsh. Walsh gets space on Tom O'Sullivan. Turned back into trouble. Dylan McHugh. Killian McDade taking up a decent position, but now it's John Daly. Morley is waiting inside. The Kerry sweeper makes the whole defensive system, glues it together. Matthew Tierney. Tierney burst through, and a referee playing advantage, free in. Shane Walsh time. There was a jersey pull there. David Moore not at all happy.
Yeah, definitely a foul on the way in. Tierney dummies left, and he just pulled back by the arm by David Moore. Very common foul in games these days, and Sean Herson, very, very sharp, I have to say, in his opening 21 minutes on top of it. And as befits the man, I was just looking in the stats, Dara. This senior final, he's now got the big 3, the minor, the under 20, well, all the old under 21 as we remember it, and now today's senior, well deserving, and he's off to a flyer as well.
Thank you. No score so far for Damien Comer, but Shane Walsh has been in sparkling form. That brilliant point from play. 3 place balls have gone over as well. 23rd minute.
It's a big one, an important one, they all are.
To regain the lead, and he loves it. Galway by 6 points to 5.
Maybe it's time just to say there, like, it's a cracker, obviously. Goes without saying, the opening 22, 23 minutes have just flown along, and we've been witnessing great scores from hand and from frees all over the place.
Shorter kick out, Morley spilled it, and look at Damien Comer trying to take it back. There's Jason Foley there. Comer will stop him coming out quickly, gives away the foul. There was a sort of an edgy kick out from Kerry, but there's some space for Dermot O'Connor. Galway at the moment with just 1 sweeper in position. Daly working hard to get back. They launch it in long. He soars again through the sky. David Clifford, second brilliant mark, and you know what's coming next.
Oh, the eagle has landed again. He just took off, soared as that ball was coming in. He was the first one to notice that it was a little bit short, and he has it over the bar before I can even finish the sentence. He's flying it.
Literally. Well, no sweeper, front, behind, sideways, can do anything about that. Brilliant catch.
But he was so quick. He noticed Graham O'Sullivan had kind of under-kicked it, and it wasn't going to break too far beyond the D, and he went to make up the ground.
Gleeson, great distance on it, just stabs it out, but David Moran has it. No, he's lost it again. It's a Galway ball.
And some great high catching so far.
Yeah, well, the players are there. They really are. Now, what happened to the Kerry marking there? Kelly moved it on quickly. Here's Rob Finnerty. That relaxed style he has. Matthew Tierney was screaming for it. 2 Kerry men around him. Galway men are free. They have to be. Here's Paul Conroy. Turns back in. Never got the shot away. A brilliant block by Stephen O'Brien. O'Brien has been all action. Conroy is down injured. They'll need treatment for him. Galway need to get back. Kerry get going as quick as they can. Stephen O'Brien. Paul Ganey out in front of Kieran Malloy. They drill it in low. That's Sean Kelly's ball. It came up off him. Foul by David Clifford. Kelly didn't hold it first time. He's gone down injured, the Galway captain. What exactly happened to him?
Well, his first touch deserted him. That's what happened to him, Dara. He had it in the tummy, just came out, and then he was just caught in the face. That's a yellow if the referee sees it as that. But, yeah, I would imagine he may have to talk to the umpires about it. He was quite a bit away from it. That will be the issue.
Well, if he'd looked to his right, it was on the big screen. But anyway. So that's Paul Conroy down at the other end of the field. And it was, you could see it happening I know it was at full speed, but almost in slow motion. This is the block. Conroy turning back in, gets it onto the left. Here comes Stephen O'Brien.
Not for the first time today. Oh, look at that. And then he follows through, and that's where the injury is. Because he's at full tilt, obviously. There's a yellow card for... Well, they don't want that now. That's a little bit of a bump on the road, shall we say.
So David Clifford has a yellow card for the challenge on Sean Kelly, which did catch him in the face. Look, he was trying to get to the ball.
Well, he did very well, the referee, to figure all that out. I was going to suggest to you when you said, well, it's just been up on the big screen. It was his first final. He might have the cuteness of a Pat McEnany or someone like that to have a peep up at it.
So Pádraig Joyce just having a bit of a consultation with his management team. So off we go. What on earth was that about? The short free to David Clifford. Mistake by Conor Gleeson. Dylan McHugh is there. What were Galway doing? Clifford gets back in onto his left. No, he can go on his right. He's on his left again. Clifford trying to curl it in. They go in high and long. Galway under pressure. Here come Kerry. Shawnee O'Shea forced away from goal. Just couldn't get the shot off. Stephen O'Brien. Galway still a bit in shock. O'Brien should score from here. He's taunting them, teasing them. Stephen O'Brien, oh wow, you've got to score. If you do that, if you turn back in again, it's got to go over the bar. It's wide. He's been brilliant.
Well,
not there.
First observation, daftness by Conor Gleeson. I don't know what he was thinking of.
Here it is.
Here it is. Like, maybe it's a rehearsed one, but it's all over the place there, that one.
It needs more work if it was a rehearsed one.
It does. But credit the Galway defenders when the ball broke back out to Shawnee O'Shea. They didn't let him have the shot off, pushed him back out, ends up in a wide.
Galway have kicked no wide, by the way. Kerry have 6 of them.
Very un-Kerry-like, you'd have to say.
But didn't they kick just 1 wide in the first half against Dublin in the semi-final?
And I think whatever breeze is in it, it's helping out on the canal end.
It's just like the flags behind the goal seem to be kind of, well, indicating that it's helping Galway. But look, we know what way it swirls around here, the horseshoe effect and all that stuff. But
well, Paul Conroy is back in the action anyway. That's good for Galway.
It is. Killian McDade, 3 years he spent in Australia. Here he is. We know how athletic he is, how fast he is. There's a little bit of a gap there. He got caught holding onto the ball, almost drew the players in. Here's Shane Walsh. Paul Ganey there with him. Popped in for Killian McDade. There's some space in around the back if they can get somebody in there. Where's Damien Comer? Here's Kieran Malloy. Furthest forward at the moment is Patrick Kelly for Galway.
Well, Tom O'Sullivan is getting a lot of help out on Shane Walsh. Every time he cuts back in, he gets a helping hand so that Walsh can't get the shot off.
Shane Walsh is hugging this near sideline. So this Galway will be patient. They've developed that patience, just waiting for the right moment. Here's Jack Glynn, the 21-year-old. Glynn runs into traffic, got the shot away. Jack Glynn, what a score from young Jack Glynn, the under-20 All-Ireland winning captain from 2 years ago. He seemed to have run into trouble. He kept going. 7-6 Galway.
Well, how well did he do? Exactly. He did look in trouble, but he had a lovely dodge. He went left, And then he had the accuracy with the right to pop it over the bar. Badly needed score for Galway to take the lead again.
We saw Liam Silk coming forward earlier on and having an impact. At times, I know it sort of it goes with this type of a game with the slower build-up and stuff, but the atmosphere, like there's 82,000 people here, at times the atmosphere just kind of dips down, but understandable, I suppose.
Yeah, this lateral stuff is what kills that kind of, you know, the crowd are invested after a few great scores, and then it just goes back to this slow lateral build-up. Probably suits Galway. I'm sure they'll be the happier team with it.
So the noise, it's like as if they heard us from the Galway fans, and that's been countered by the Kerry followers. Brian O'Bioglio, David Moran queuing up to take the ball. Graham O'Sullivan there. Brian O'Bioglio. Paddy Clifford hasn't been as prominent, and Clifford went for the wrong option. Dylan McHugh with the turnover. Massive one for the Galway defence. What a game.
And Paddy Clifford has had a slow start, which will worry Kerry, because we know if he's going well, the brother improves. Although the brother, there's much room left for improvement in him in his first half. But yeah, Paddy Clifford just slow to get into the game today.
I actually was looking around there for Damien Comer. He's playing like a left half back at the minute, and he's taken Jason Foley out the field with him. So Shane Walsh is the furthest Galway attacker, and they've loaded the forward line at the moment.
And Johnny Heaney is loitering with intent. We know how he steals in around the back. Well, he got the goal chance earlier on doing the same thing, didn't he?
Oh, that's popped up. That's an awful mistake by Dylan McHugh, fresh from the turnover, and Galway have been caught with players up the field. Here's Paddy Clifford, couldn't hang on to it. Jack Glynn was there with him. There was nothing wrong with the challenge. Clifford did brilliantly to win the ball back. John Daly is there for Galway. Here's Dermot O'Connor. Kerry loved turnover time. They turned the ball over after McHugh's mistake. It really wasn't anything they did, it was just a bad hand pass. Shawnee O'Shea, Brian O'Bioglio, David Clifford. Who else? Kelly's just not tight enough to him. That one though is wide, so he's human after all. But it's 7 wides for Kerry.
Now if you're following the umpire, he was so surprised he slipped as he was going by to see a David Clifford one go wide. A lot of wides now. What are we up to now?
7-0.
That's very unusual.
So now let's have a look at this kick out from Conor Gleeson. Former Galway United and Athlone Town goalkeeper. When he wants to go long, it is very long, and it just hangs up there. Missed Comer. Shane Walsh, the jersey was being held. He's got it from Tom O'Sullivan. Look at Johnny Heaney. Can they get the ball to him? Walsh held onto it too long. Walsh turns back in. That's not going to trouble Shane Ryan. So that is Galway's first wide after 32 minutes. It took them 21 minutes to score against Derry in the semi-final. They've been flawless up front. There was half an opportunity to get Heaney away.
There was, yeah. Tom O'Sullivan didn't do well on the hot ball. He concentrated on the player when the ball was available. He kept looking at Shane Walsh when he should have attacked the ball. Walsh got the possession, but as you say, just to the right and wide.
Here we go with Jack Barry of Kerry from Naguail. Stephen O'Brien. Paul gaining beautiful hands. Referee playing an advantage. Paddy Clifford can't hold on to it. He was juggling with that. He knew the free was coming, so it'll be time for the brother to pop the ball over the bar from just outside the D.
Now we'll see this foul here. It's a beautiful exchange. There it is. Yeah. Malloy comes across him. Great spot by the ref again. Lovely play of the advantage. Well, I like that in a referee. Just let it run out to see, could he get it over the bar? When he couldn't, pull it back, tidied up. Sean O'Shea surely to level it.
Yeah, for the third time. It's not David Clifford taking the free. It's Shawnee.
This will be his opening score by my notes, so he's been quite enough too.
Yeah, missed that first place ball, stolen a few metres as everybody does. Sean O'Shea level for the third time, heading into the last minute of the first half. It's been a gripping, compelling first half. Loads of fabulous football. Sets it up beautifully.
And here's that slow kick out I was talking about earlier on, and why wouldn't he? He's probably going to go long if he can get an overload, shaping up to the right.
Bunched into the middle. They've left the wings open. Sean Kelly went out for it. They could belt it long towards Patrick Kelly in the right half forward position. That is where it's gone. But Kerry have two players there waiting at the drop zone. But Killian McDade was there too. McDade moves it forward to Rob Finnerty. Galway surging forward. Kerry scrambling defenders back. Here's Killian McDade, and McDade slots it over. All from their own kick out. Patrick Kelly over there. Killian McDade has done a lot of work off the ball. Brilliant in the quarter-final and the semi-final. He's arrived now. That was super from Patrick Kelly.
Well, top-class play by three Galway players that they'll be really happy about. Top-class play. Conor Gleeson initially, Patrick Kelly on the far side, then young Finnerty gets in on the action. Back to, well, four players, back to McDade over the bar.
3 minutes of added time coming up at the end of the first half. Tig Morley. Kerry had pushed up, they had numbers up the field, he couldn't get back in time. That was a big opportunity. Well, Galway converted, they used it. Stephen O'Brien tops the ball in. That is Gavin White. Confirmation of the 3 minutes by Jerry Grogan on the PA system here in Croke Park. David Moran lasted 50 against Dublin. Shawnee O'Shea to Brian O'Biogliuk. O'Biogliuk, there's a bit of space there. He's gone past Conroy. Conroy tried to drag him back. Galway crowded the area. The ball breaks loose and Galway turn it over. Their defence have come up with some really big turnovers. Paul Conroy free out Galway.
Well, the big turnover, when we look back at it, will come from Matt Tierney. Threw himself at a loose hand pass and he rebounded off him, but to advantage for Galway. You're going to see it here, just there. Now there he is. That's what you got to do on All-Ireland final day. Maybe that's what Cody means when who do you want to kill to get the ball, and he threw himself full-blooded into it.
Paul Conroy has recovered well after those couple of knocks he suffered. Matthew Tierney, Rob Finnerty, Conroy again. Kieran Malloy out of picture is actually the furthest forward. Killian McDade has gone with him from midfield. Here's Sean Kelly. David Clifford didn't run after Sean Kelly, so he can take his time here. Shane Walsh. McDade has stayed in at full forward. Clifford, the only Kerry player up the field. Here's Paul Conroy. There's some space there for Dylan McHugh. Burst through, no foul. Referee wasn't interested. Now Kerry got to move it quickly. Moran kicks at a massive distance, but David Clifford won't keep that in play. It beats him out of play.
And again, there was pressure brought to bear just as David Moran was kicking that ball. The Galway player flashed across him, and that's why it ended up out over the sideline. They're just going the extra yard at the minute.
Galway 5 points from play, Kerry 2 from play. We wondered how brave Galway would be with their attacks and how many players they'd leave forward, all that sort of stuff. But look at Sean Kelly again, and Kerry needs somebody to tag him if David Clifford isn't going to bother. Here's Paul Conroy. Kelly has continued forward. Galway have left 3 defenders back. There's one of them, Jack Glynn, who scored a point to try and cover David Clifford. Now Kerry have everybody back inside their own 65-metre line. John Daly. Tig Morley is sitting just in front of the Kerry full-back line, that 2-player full-back line at the moment. Here is Shane Walsh again. Paul Gainey there.
Galway are just playing to get a final shot off and kill the clock. That's what was in their mind. Kerry haven't played well, but they're only a point out of it, and that may be some comfort to them.
No, for sure. Johnny Heaney. Patrick Kelly is the furthest forward. There's a height mismatch with Gavin White. Here's Sean Kelly. The handling skills let him down for once. Then he pulled on the ball on the ground. Well, a brilliant basketball player. Sean Kelly is indeed everybody in his family. That was a surprising error, but there was pressure on him. The referee takes the ball, and it's half-time. It's been quite a first half. The narratives and the scripts from beforehand, a lot of them have gone out the window, just as it should be in the biggest game of the year. At the break, it is Galway who lead Kerry by 8 points to 7. Analysis to come. Do not go anywhere. Again, no changes Galway. You've heard about the 2 changes with Kerry, with the 2 Spillane lads in, and they're just been confirmed on the PA system here. Galway, just some other numbers to throw at you. In the first half, 2 points from turnovers. Kerry just 1 point from a turnover. And Kerry the way they've been playing, normally much higher in the turnover stakes. There's Damien Comer. Comer with Tadhg Morley there. So Galway, well, with Matthew Tierney knocked to the ground, they have got a free, and Paul Conroy is taking it. We mentioned the fact that, well, Galway have been slower to use their bench. That's it towards Shane Walsh, and it's come to Damien Comer, free in. There was a push there. Tom O'Sullivan ended up on the deck. It's a massive battle between himself and Shane Walsh. Galway have got a free in.
Well, the in ball is from Paul Conroy after the free. In fact, there's a couple of frees there at the throw-in time. Galway got their deserved one in the end, and there's another foul. That's just Tom O'Sullivan really eager to stop Shane Walsh, get his hands on the ball, and comes through and fouls Damien Comer.
Shane Walsh. Couple from play. 3 place balls. This is further out. And Walsh, it's just such a beautiful kicking style. If he was a golfer, that'd be the sweet spot, right out of the centre of it. 9-7 Galway, first point in the second half.
And we think, we're not sure, because as we said, it's a swirling breeze, but we think it is helping the Galway shooters, that little bit extra, few metres extra from the trailing wind, or breeze perhaps.
So David Moran off the Kerry team, Paul Gainey gone as well. Sean Kelly has been caught. Here's David Clifford now. Clifford off his right boot. And that is Kerry's first point in the second half from David Clifford. Kelly trying to get out in front, marking from the front. Mistake.
Gary, this is unreal what this young man is doing in front of our eyes. You know, 50-50. He's first to the break when Sean Kelly gets caught slightly under the ball on his right foot. Like, we're just taking this for granted that he's just not missing.
Better kick out from Conor Gleeson. They won the short ones in the first half. Kerry were 4-4 on theirs, but Kerry 6 out of 6 on their short kickouts indeed. Kerry,
both of them 100%, I believe, on the shorts. Yeah.
Galway actually were better on the longer ones, 79% on those. Here we go with Rob Finnerty. Graham O'Sullivan just beaten by the beautiful flight on that ball. Jack Glynn. Big first half now. They go long towards Comer, but there's Tadhg Morley, and that's what the sweeper's supposed to do, sit there and protect in front of Comer. Not a good ball in, really. You've got to kick it over the sweeper. Easy to say from up here, I know. Dermot O'Connor. And now Galway are leaving 2 forward as they drop everybody else back. The 2 are Walsh and Comer. Stephen O'Brien, some big plays he made for Kerry in the first half. Tom O'Sullivan, Gavin White, and Shawnee O'Shea. Toddy Clifford, Graham O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan spots a little bit of a gap, and now it's Dermot O'Connor with a bigger gap. O'Connor through for Kerry, and that is more like it. The Galway defence didn't look particularly steady there. Graham O'Sullivan did something different. O'Connor with the point, 9 each. Yeah,
it's a classy point. Lovely cut, lovely angle cut from Dermot O'Connor, and lovely accuracy to curl it. And that's a big point. It's the leveller. And this game is just so alive. It could swing or bounce or explode in any direction.
Dylan McHugh. Clifford and Killian Spillane left forward by Kerry. Shane Walsh, deeper. Comer's in again at full forward. Morley sits in front. Shane Walsh, jersey pulled back a couple of times by Tom O'Sullivan. Advantage been played. Walsh doesn't need to go back for the free. Again, he continues his red-hot first half form.
Well, I did give, I hope, sufficient praise to David Clifford's last effort. And here we go on this one. It's just unreal.
Pressure on Kerry at kick-out time. Tadhg Morley had gone wide to initially get it, then does a bit of juggling with it. Shane Walsh is there. Kerry get out of trouble.
Tadhg Morley did great there. He really was under pressure from Shane Walsh. Shane Walsh was well gassed after the effort, but Morley did terrific to clear his lines.
And Having a drink of water now as we follow Stephen O'Brien. Adrian Spillane blocked down off Jack Glynn. And Adrian's still going. He's the older of the two. Not by much though, they're both still in their footballing prime. Here's Graham O'Sullivan, he's only 24, that's a brilliant ball. Galway looked over, was there a foul in there? Clifford! Tawny Clifford this time with Jack Glynn. He's got the point, level for the 5th time, 10 each. This is boiling nicely.
Well, the first contact is very close to being a foul. Brilliant ball by Graham O'Sullivan. Let's see it there. There's a tangle. He's going for goal, I think, there, Darragh.
Yeah.
Just rises a bit, and he's in the game now. And Kerry badly need Paddy to get his shooting boots and his movements up to the standard they expect of him.
Kerry haven't been in front in this All-Ireland final. Is now the moment for them to strike. They look a different proposition. The 2 substitutions have given them a boost. Here's Seanie O'Shea. We go back to David Clifford from 40 out. David Clifford, there's the lead for Kerry for the first time in the All-Ireland final in the 42nd minute. He punches the air. It feels different. They're playing much better.
Well, look, we're a long time looking at these finals, Darragh, and I've just never seen anything like this from Clifford. He's jumped for joy, and he's trying to get the Kerry support, and now we hear it, because they're in front for the first time.
Will that lift a bit of a burden on them, the pressure that's been on them? Now they win another kick out, but Galway have got it back. Kerry have outscored Galway by 4 points to 2 since the match restarted. Here come Galway. That's Johnny Heaney. Heaney been forced back out the field, but he'll run and run all day. He's been around a long time. He's still only 27. Here's Killian McDade. Paddy Clifford is down injured, out of picture at the moment, so we'll follow the ball, follow the play. Jack Glynn is still marking him even when he's down receiving treatment. Here's Damien Comer. Comer spins away from Foley, turns back into traffic. John Daly a long way from home. Here's Killian McDade, must score, and does score for Galway. They had several bites at the cherry there. The Kerry lead lasted about 45 seconds, 11 all.
Well, it all goes back to the Paddy Clifford and Kieran Malloy tango for the ball, and he came off second best. Malloy got the turnover, and Galway got it to a man they always want to get it, as Damien Comer. The minute he goes down the end line, people start getting frightened, because he's a very direct runner. He's coming off, I think, with a blood, is it?
Yeah, it is. Jack Savage just on temporarily. Cairns O'Reilly's. There's Kevin Cassidy, famous face in the crowd. The Donegal great. So Paddy Clifford just off for a little bit until they can stem the flow. Jack Savage on. Minor winner in 12 and 13. Shane Ryan with the big boot. He can kick it a mile as well. Matthew Tierney was in there. Kerry win the kick out. Galway have got to get back. Here's Stephen O'Brien. Seanie O'Shea. Gavin White. There's a little bit of a stumble. And there's Killian Spillane. And, well, he'll have good memories of that goal from the 19 final, remember? But that, well, he'll try and forget that one pretty quickly. That is wide number 8, still 11 each.
That's a cracker. The second half has opened up very much like the first, and there's an expectation that this is going to go down to the wire, because these teams are matched up so well.
Shane Walsh just glides over the ground. Walsh, this is difficult. This is very difficult. But you know what? It's absolutely brilliant. It is a sensational score from a sensational player. At one end, we've Shane Walsh. The other end, we've David Clifford. Take a bow, Shane Walsh.
Well, clear the pitch of the other 14 on each side, I'd say, and let the two of them at it, because this is sensational. I've never seen anything like this in an All-Ireland final. Maybe Pádraig Joyce all those years ago, but these two men are just bending the final to the shape. Magnificent.
Here come Kerry. Now the crowd are really getting stuck into this. Seanie O'Shea. It's Jack Barry. Dermot O'Connor already at a big play in this second half. Killian Spillane. That's the job, and that is a fabulous score. And again, the mental toughness, having missed one about 60 seconds, 90 seconds ago.
Every time there's a forward play, I'm dipping for my marker every time to log a score, because the accuracy levels are off the charts. As you said, little bit of a wobble with the previous one, but the nerve and the skill to slide it over on the hillside.
Level 7 times. Matthew Tierney. Finian O'Leary is going to come in for Galway. He's been their first sub. Pádraig Joyce doesn't lean too heavily on the bench. He will in the last few minutes if things are going Galway's way. Rob Finnerty just shovels it off to Paul Conroy. Conroy has Seanie O'Shea there with him. Conroy spins back around. That's very difficult. And it's also going to be kept in play. Brilliant by Johnny Heaney. That was different. Here's Liam Silk. They work it out the field. Kieran Malloy from Corofin, and Malloy scores for Galway. What a game this is. What an absolute cracking All-Ireland final. 13-12. Finian O'Leary is in. 47th minute.
Well, I couldn't pick out the Kerry defender that fell asleep. And the ball is recycled out to Kieran Malloy. And the accuracy again that I've been talking about is just unreal. And now they slip into a 1-point lead again.
Paddy Clifford is back on. They've stopped the nosebleed. Shane Ryan, it's another boomer, but Dylan McHugh gets on with it quickly. He was going to take the mark. Killian McDade. Kerry look open. McDade steadies down. McDade from 35 away. It's a brilliant score again from Killian McDade. It's turning into a shootout. They've opened up a 2-point lead. Twice in the first half they led by 3. Galway 14, Kerry 12. McDade's score, he's coming more into the game in the middle of the field. Paddy Clifford, they go in long. It's over David's head though, and Malloy could have caught that. Well, obviously he felt it wasn't worth the risk. It went way over David Clifford's head. Turnover time. Kieran Malloy. Little moments, a boost for Galway. Kerry had started the second half so well, really owned the first 7-8 minutes from play. Look at those numbers. That's up towards Shane Walsh, but there's too many Kerry fellas there from a Galway perspective. Paddy to Sean O'Shea. Jack Barry. Stephen O'Brien. Kerry showed great resilience in the Dublin match. Remember how they were pushed back. This is Graham O'Sullivan. Now that could turn out. Gleeson is a long way from home. Here's Spillane, he goes down. Referee's going to give a free in. Conor Gleeson, maybe a rush of blood to the head. Well, he'll tell you, I've stopped the ball going into the back of the net. The free, maybe, and a point, a small price to pay.
Well, there might be another price, because I see the other Spillane. The other Spillane
is a pull down, by the way.
Is looking for a black card. Yeah. I don't like to see that particular side of the game, I must say. Let the referee make his own decision in conjunction with the others. But it will be a consideration. He might be satisfied with the free in, but he has a decision to make. Let's have a look.
Deliberate pull down. The hands are on him there for a bit. Killian Spillane. Oh.
Well, it's in the territory, isn't it? And I think he will have a chat with him. Yeah, he will. It's black card, but he's leaving it, is he?
Yeah.
He is.
Now I was looking again the replay. Which, well, there's days when you see them and days when you don't. The replays have been showed to the supporters here in the stadium, and that's a big moment. Seanie O'Shea pops over the free. Conor Gleeson is fortunate.
Well, I think he made a bad decision initially anyway. He had no business coming out on that particular ball, and Kerry did very, very well. Young Spillane got on top of it, but that certainly looked odd. That's a black card, I think. You know, it's almost a trip as well as everything else. So the short kick out. Jack Glynn, off he goes away from Clifford, and now there's open road in front of the Clare Galway youngster. Shane Walsh was screaming for the ball to be played to him. He got free. That hush around the ground again. That's a risky one. Dylan McHugh is going to come under pressure from Clifford. Finian O'Leary to Matthew Tierney. He's their vice captain. He's only 21 years of age. This is all very tight. Finian O'Leary.
Back around Paul Conroy. Kerry pressing high. David Clifford is the only Kerry player who's been left up the field.
That's all you need, isn't it?
That's a fair point. Here's Damien Comer. Finian O'Leary. Johnny Heaney is trying to get free. He finds himself in at full forward a lot. He's come back out. I think they were going to send the ball in long to him.
I always say after a protracted period of this over and back lateral play, if you can get the score after it, it's very demoralising for the opposition. And that's what Galway will be hunting.
Kieran Malloy got away from Adrian Spillane. Finian O'Leary is there with him. He's got a taste for the scoring now. Paul Conroy drops it short. There was pressure put on him just as he got the shot away, which certainly had a part to play in that dropping into the arms of Shane Ryan. So it really is in the melting pot now. Who will it be? Galway or Kerry? Here's Gavin White. Jack Barry. And he seems to have been around years. He's only 27. Brian O'Biogliuk. Runners off the shoulder. It's Graham O'Sullivan. This is what they do so well. That's how you beat a crowded, clustered defence. We're level for the 8th time.
And Graham O'Sullivan has thundered into this second half, Dara. He's coming off shoulders, he's making himself available, he's busy, he's accurate, and he's got the leveller.
John Daly, easy for Conor Gleeson to find him that time. Sean Kelly. David Clifford is going back with him, but he's not going to put pressure on Sean Kelly, who's staying involved. That's a risky one. Move breaks down, wrong decision. And at the big moments in the games, you've got to make the right decision. And Sean Kelly has a long way to travel to get back there. And there's his direct marker, David Clifford.
And that was John Heaney stopping the play, and the ref was about to as well. He's lucky if he played on.
Paudie Clifford. Galway have their 2 sweepers. That's John Daly coming out, and that's going to be a free in. There was a jersey pull there. They can go in front for the 2nd time with this free.
Well, now what's going to be interesting from my viewpoint is we've 20 minutes left. Well, less than 20, but there'll be when we put on the extra time for injuries, etc. Is the fitness levels, what's in the tank now? And we're going to start talking about the substitutes bench and the relative strengths and so on, because both teams have given this a fair wallop down the opening 50 minutes.
Yeah, and it's warm. David Clifford. Yeah, done it again. So that's the lead for the 2nd time in the match. 15 points to 14. 3 in a row.
Galway subs warming up to my right, but of course Kerry lads also warming up to my left. So managers and managements are thinking of introducing a few members of the cavalry.
Gleeson belts it long towards Comer. Jack Barry was there with him. Galway win the ball. Killian McDade. They managed to get players to the drop zone there. Here's Paul Conroy. These are big moments in this All-Ireland final. Killian McDade, will that hang on? No. Now, in fairness, they've been ridiculously efficient. That's only their 2nd wide. But they're behind now.
Well, that's been the big improvement in the Kerry play in the second half. They've had only 1 wide as well, and their accuracy levels have shot up. They needed to, because they were fairly kicking the wides in the first half, and we get them up to 7. So yeah, they've settled now in terms of looking at the post.
Stephen O'Brien, look at Damien Comer. Catch by Conor Gleeson. So one cancels out the other. They had the Conroy effort, and then that Stephen O'Brien is dropping short. While since Galway last scored. Kerry on average conceding 12 points per game in the championship. Of course, just 1 goal in those championship games. Galway have been conceding on average 15 points. So Kerry are there now. Here's Damien Comer, if you need a goal.
Well, what would a goal do to this game? It'd blow it wide open, wouldn't it, for whichever side could conjure one up.
Galway have been scoring a healthy amount of goals. That's a risky one. Brilliant hands and a great turnover from Gavin White. And Kerry, how quickly can they attack? They had their defenders and outfield players back in position, so they couldn't get forward with it quickly. Briano Bioglio. Killian Spillane, Tawny Clifford. Micheál Burns is going to come in for Kerry. Here's Tawny Clifford. They lead by a point in the All-Ireland final. You can double that now. Too clear, Tawny Clifford. 56th minute, 4 points without reply.
That's a gorgeous point. Lovely little bit of interplay. Looks to his right, might pass it now, moves on to his left. Now he's front of goal, and he has a bit of pace behind him. And lovely curler with the kit though. And now there's a 2-point lead.
Stephen O'Brien put in a serious shift for his team. Micheál Burns from Dr. Crokes will bring a massive amount of pace and love, no little skill either. Really good footballer. Kerry lead by 2. 2014, the last time they won Sam Maguire under Eamon Fitzmaurice. Galway, you go back, all the way back to 2001. Kieran Malloy. Paul Conroy. Johnny Heaney. Now Heaney goes long, but Damien Comer was in there, but it was really overhit. Now Paul Conroy is been taken off by Galway, which is certainly a blow for them. Cathal Sweeney, a very able replacement, but Conroy's one of the Galway leaders. Cathal Sweeney from Salthill, Knocknacarra, wearing 19.
Well, that last effort from Johnny Heaney, well, it really overshot the runway, didn't it? I think he was trying to get in on top of Damien Comer. And just the adrenaline, the stress of the match now been beautifully poised. And he missed out by 5-6 metres, I'd say.
Shane Ryan, Galway haven't scored in, it's approaching 11 minutes now. The 2-point lead has been turned on its head. There's Micheál Burns up to David Clifford. Kelly's behind him. 59th minute, Croke Park. Is this to be his day when he gets his hands on an All-Ireland senior medal? There are some of them in that Kerry panel, but not a whole pile. Here's Gavin White. Dylan McHugh just backing off. Killian Spillane. Jack Barry didn't want to shoot. Shawnee O'Shea. Different type of performance from him. Graham O'Sullivan. Big second half. It's got quite dark overhead. Maybe my weather forecasting days are over. I was hoping we'd get to near 5 o'clock and no rain.
It's all gone so quiet all of a sudden, hasn't it? Just the oxygen been taken out of the game.
Bring it up, Bioglio. Get it to David Clifford. Or to Paddy. That's Jacqueline in front of him. They've had a great duel, the two of them today. That's an unusual ball. But my word, it worked. Tom O'Sullivan, he knows how to score. 7 points this year. O'Sullivan off the outside of the left boot. And we're going to go to Hawkeye. They are not sure.
Well, the Hill were urging it, or else trying to influence it. But Hawkeye it is.
This is wide. That's what we're hearing from our friends in Hawkeye land.
Well, it's always instructive if you keep an eye on the player, and he turned away very quickly. He wasn't celebrating, that's for sure.
Okay, so that's wide. Now, put yourself in Jack O'Connor's shoes and then Pádraig Joyce's shoes. What do you do? Well, Kerry want to keep pushing on. Galway have got to change things.
They certainly do, and this is the issue that I flagged to you a few minutes ago, that when he looks behind him and looks at the bench, he hasn't had any big game changers. Fionn O'Lee, we know he comes on regularly, but not many big contributions on the board either in terms of scores. So he is going to have to juggle it some way or other. Paul Conroy is now gone out of the equation. That's a big loss for them. But my sense is if they're going to hold on, Kerry will push. Sorry, if Galway don't push it on, Kerry will open this lead now nice and gingerly. Probably need a goal, Dara, is what I'm saying.
Last 10 minutes inside that. Owen Finnerty will be on for Galway. Here's Killian McDaid, and McDaid sandwich. That's a free in. Well, that is tight marking, tough tackling, and McDaid was crunched.
Referee called for medics in immediately, so there might have been some head contact. We'll see it in the replay here. Well, they're pretty square up to them. Bang. Yeah, this is the All-Ireland final. These are the moments. And he's earned his free the hard way for sure.
Yeah. He certainly has. And they need a score. Now look, they're only 2 points behind, but I suppose it's just the trend of the game, the way it has gone since the 47th minute when they were leading by 14 points to 12. 4 unanswered points. This is another look at it. It's just the way his head jarred around. 15 minutes since Galway's last score.
Can I make a point on the Tom O'Sullivan point, the Hawkeye point we'll call it, or the Hawkeye non-point? It is on the right-hand post, the one we know that has been a bit dodge for Hawkeye all summer, and he's been debating away with the referee.
Let's show you. Here it is.
I think we've got a full on, have we? Okay. Well, this will give us a great sense of it.
Have a look.
No, guys. Oh, wide. Okay, great call.
Actually wider than it appeared on the graphic, but anyway, I know those things can be exaggerated at times. Now look, Paul Conroy's gone off. They can't do it without this fella, Killian McDaid. And I think the concussion, looking at the way his head jarred around, that'd be the big worry. And if there is a concern there with the All-Ireland final or not, Killian McDaid has to come off the Galway team. Owen Finnerty is replacing Johnny Heaney, and Heaney races off the field. Finnerty from Mount Bellew Moyloch.
Well, Killian McDaid was certainly shook. The bonus is that it's with Shane Walsh, and that should end up a score and bring it back to 1. Very interesting. Very interesting, the conversation Tom O'Sullivan is trying to convince the referee.
Yeah, so now Brian O'Biogliuc is off the Kerry team, and Paul Murphy, the veteran in inverted commas from 2014, his 41st championship appearance. Doesn't exactly weaken things, does it? He's a big performer, has been for Kerry over the years. Now this is huge. They have gone since the 47th minute without a score, Galway. Killian McDaid is okay. He's been sublime, majestic. Shane Walsh, they need this badly. Shane Walsh, he's got it. There's just a point between them. Massive kick for Walsh.
Well, every ball now is literally your life on it, isn't it? It's 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, depending on what the referee gives us. Point game. Pádraig Joyce roaring them on. Jack O'Connor likewise. It's game on now for the last 10.
Yeah, and as the underdogs, this is where Galway said they wanted to be. A point behind within touching distance inside the last 10 minutes. Here's Patrick Kelly. Massive take from Damien Comer, wasn't it? Here he is again. Comer could pop it in. And does so to Killian McDaid. McDaid scored there, level. Brilliant football. 4 for Killian McDaid. 2 in a row.
Well, look at Comer. Oh, wow, what a jump. Gets in front of Graham O'Sullivan. And McDaid is 4th from midfield in All-Ireland final, 4 from play. 9 times level. Remember, if it's still level after 70-odd minutes, we have extra time. And then, if that's still level, you're talking replay after it. But there's a massive amount of football still to be played in this final, isn't there? Here's Killian Spillane, 16 each. 2 big points in quick succession from 2 big players for Galway. Walsh and McDaid. Here's Micheál Burns.
Kerry so disheartened after the 2019 game, then the Munster final, the late Cork goal, the Tyrone defeat last year. And Jack O'Connor has come in and they have stormed their way. Oh, Killian McDade, Jason Foley was there. Well, they really dug out the Dublin game, didn't they? Having lost their way, it showed massive character and grit and determination to get over the line with the Seanie O'Shea free. Here we go, and this is Paul Murphy. Remember his pass laid on to win the free. Damien Comer won't let him by. Massive turnover from Damien Comer. Murphy came back at him. There's no foul. It's just going one way, then the other. Finian O'Leary picks it up for Galway. Slip from John Daly. Killian Spillane there with him, and the referee has given a free in to Kerry. A free in to Kerry against John Daly.
Kurt holding the hand, the defender looking for the hand. Now let's see, did he? Probably yes, he is. See it wrapping up there, referee. Absolutely outstanding call by Sean Herson. We see it so often, but refs sometimes don't have the nerve to call it.
Was he not trying to just get the Spillane's hand off? Anyway, look.
Don't think so, Darren.
Okay, that's fine.
He's under pressure. He has nowhere to go.
David Clifford been told to move back by the linesman. This is tricky, but we know that left boot he's got. It's a magic wand. And David Clifford is converted. Another magic trick, another incredible score from an astonishing player. Kerry 17, Galway 16.
I'll say it again, I've just never seen anything like it, Dara. Either in Shane Walsh, Galway, but this man, Clifford, like the enormity of that free, the pressure, the stress. A few minutes left on the clock of normal time, and they're 1 up.
And that's their first score in a 10-minute period. So Galway have got to climb the mountain again.
Turnovers, anything like that now are huge plays at this moment.
Kerry have been winning tight games. The Dublin game was tight. The Mayo game in the league was tight. Here's Patrick Kelly, now out to Kieran Malloy. Never going to shoot from out there. There's nobody waiting inside. It's recycled back to Cathal Sweeney. 67.5 minutes. If you're a neutral, you don't want it to end. John Daly. That is Owen Finnerty. Shane Walsh. Get it to him, get it to Comer. That's what they'll be thinking. They're a point behind. Shane Walsh, Killian McDade. There's a big gap in behind. There was nobody from Galway standing in the D. Morley was there, but he's on the 20-metre line. Kerry, they trust this system. Here goes Dylan McHugh. McHugh turns back in. Burns had gone with him. Killian McDade. He's hot at the moment. McDade with the shot. He's put it wide. Well, he was right to back himself. He's had a big, big second half. The shooting form hot. That's wide though. That's a biggie. They've only kicked 4, 3 of them in the second half. Last 2 minutes.
Great pressure by the Kerry defender again. With the excitement and following the play, I didn't see who got into his eye line, but if we have a peep at the replay, we will catch him, because great effort. That's why he went wide. Otherwise, he has the time and the accuracy to score it.
.90 seconds. They'll add at least 4 on, will they?
You'd imagine so. The medics have been on a few times.
Yeah. Kerry leading by a point. I think I read that their 1-point win over Dublin was only their 6th by the bare minimum in the championship since 1960. Doesn't happen that often. Killian Spillane heading towards the end line. Spillane goes for glory, goes for the point of the fist, and Kerry lead by 2 in the last minute of normal time. Some people don't like those type of points with the fist. If you're from Kerry, you care not a jot. They lead by 2.
If you're from Kerry, you love them. And he did all the hard work himself. Lovely skill, very narrow angle, and he got it off. Now what's happened?
Wow, okay. So the point has gone up. It's on our graphics here. It's on the big screen as well.
I think it's the kick-out. There was an issue on the kick-out.
Okay, right. So the point stands. So there's been an infringement of kick-out time. We'll try and clarify that. We're going to have 5 additional minutes as well. Have Galway look like scoring a goal? I'm trying to remember. But here we go. 18-16. The point was good. Here's a chance for another one. Gleeson can't hold it. The referee says play on. Galway had a defender inside the 20-metre line when the ball was kicked. Killian McDade. They need, well, another point. They'd love a goal to put them ahead. McDade goes down. Kerry will give away frees out there. They have a 2-point lead, having been level just 5 minutes ago. If you were looking for a tight game, if you were looking for a cliffhanger, well, this is it. And that is the foul by Graham O'Sullivan on Killian McDade. Here's the kick out, and here's the problem. There you can see it was Kieran Malloy who didn't get out quickly enough.
It's a big error at this moment in the game. This is Walsh territory.
Yeah. There's been a yellow card to Graham O'Sullivan in there. So now, Shane Walsh. There's still loads of time. Well, not loads, but you know what I mean. This has got to go over.
Cromer is going to be in there loitering, I'm sure.
Yeah, if it drops short, they've loaded the large parallelogram. Walsh, it's on its way from Shane Walsh. The reaction of the fans will tell you, oh, he's missed it. He's put it wide on the near side. What a time for his shooting to let him down. 5 wides now. So these kickouts are just huge. Shane Ryan held his nerve at the end of the Dublin game. The Rathmore man, Tyke Morney, gave him the option.
Kerry will know now that the one score that can't cough up will be the goal, and if they keep it tight and keep it right, they should be able to sneak it.
Paddy Clifford was close to scoring a goal in the second half. Joe O'Connor, who is actually the team captain, he was nominated by Austin Stacks after their championship success, but he's found it hard to get into this team. Shawnee O'Shea is the captain on the field, and here is the man. O'Shea in around the back to Gavin White. This could seal it. White goes again with the fist, and they lead by 3. And is that the winning line? Is that the home straight navigated for Kerry with less than 3 minutes to go? Galway need a goal.
Well, a terrific pass by Sean O'Shea over the defence, and Gavin White took it at full stretch, and he did the wise move. No need to be a hero, going for the goal. Flicks it over, 3-point lead now. Dangerous lead, of course, but with the minutes ticking down, a huge pressure on Galway to develop a goal chance.
Yeah, and this is going to go long. They're all lining up, waiting for the kick out. Well, it actually went short. Remember, Paul Conroy is off the field of play.
All the Kerry players are well back in their own half of the field now.
Just to try and
the goal
shut this
chance.
out.
Yeah.
If you're from Kerry, 8 years is a long time to wait for an All-Ireland. Have Galway got some sort of a routine, or is it just going to be luck to try and get a goal? That's going to drop a bit short towards O'Leary. Got a touch to it. It's come through to Shane Ryan. And now, well, Kerry, can they keep the ball for under 2 minutes? That's a dangerous game in its own way, but look how many players Galway have forward. They have to force the issue, and they are going to take risks at the back. There's the out ball to Micheál Burns. Burns pops it in towards Shawnee O'Shea. He turns and faces towards goal. Gleeson has come out a long way from home. They can really seal it now, and Gleeson's given away the free. And that could be as good as a point now at this stage. Kerry supporters around us punching the air, celebrating, because they can take their time over this, whether it goes over or not. With the time, well, if it does go over, that's 2 scores between them. Gleeson was a long way from home again.
Yeah, he had to make the decision, and he's decided to come and meet the play.
So Galway, that's Niall Daly, Matthew Tierney off. So this should put it beyond doubt. You never say never. Here's Shawnee O'Shea, and there is the point. That puts them 4 clear. Point number 20 for Kerry. They lead by 4. Is Jack O'Connor going to do it again? In each of his, well, the 2 previous administrations, his reign as Kerry manager, He won the All-Ireland in the first year. Kieran Malloy just to hit it out. Ryan's come out off his line. That could go anywhere. But Kerry have got it. They've got it with Adrian Spillane. Just seconds remaining. They are so close, Kerry, to getting their hands on Sam Maguire again. It'll be a free out. The referee's going to issue a card as well for the foul on Diarmuid O'Connor. They've had so much heartache over the last few years. Tyrone last year, the Munster final that really went nice in COVID times. The 2019 final, their chance the first day. There's a yellow card now. The 5 minutes have been and gone. That's Cathal Sweeney. After the hurling final, this had a lot to live up to. With these two teams, it has not disappointed. It's been a gripping game. And Kerry, well, what a response from them with 4 unanswered scores in the last 5 minutes, just when Galway got level. Sean Kelly, 4 between them. They need a goal and a point to force extra time, and that's just in around the house and see, and it's going to go dead. It's gone out and it's gone wide, and that is it.
That is it. That is it. Kerry are champions, and deservedly so.
David Clifford, some very special moments. There'll be people looking at the tape of his performance for years and years to come. He's been talked about, I'm sure, since he was in his early teens, about this incredible talent. And now he gets his hand on an All-Ireland senior medal. Kerry have got the keys to the kingdom back. They are All-Ireland champions for the 38th time. Jack O'Connor and his management team have done it again. Kerry back at the top of the mountain. They're the champions. And David Clifford has his All-Ireland medal. He had such a tussle and duel with Sean Kelly. The Galway fellas, well, they went down with their boots on for sure. There's no doubt about it. They just ran out of legs. They ran out of time. Torrid Joyce, well, he'll be bitterly disappointed. But they did their county, their clubs, their families proud. But today belongs to Kerry.
Oh, no question. Congratulations, Kerry. A terrific one. What did you say? The last 4 points in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, unanswered. That's the form. That's the class of champions. And remember, they've taken out Dublin, they've taken out Mayo, and now today Galway. So what can you say? I suppose the 5 in a row minors, they've come of age. And what's that going to mean for the future for the rest of the country? It's a tremendous win, and they'll be thrilled with it because it was done the right way. It was a great match. It was a great match, Dara. And like the work of Clifford, and of course we have to mention Shane Watt, but Clifford, of course, it's all about the glory now of the championship going to the kingdom. Clifford's effort, almost single-handed, you know, winning the cup down south. It's a magnificent effort for them. We often think, you know, there's a lot of hard-luck stories in sport, and that's Galway's lot today. But look at the glory that Kerry have brought back to their county. I think they're trying to describe it as a famine. I'd say peckish at the most from my viewpoint of what a famine might look like, but it's magnificent for them. They did it the right way. Some great football, some great football, and Congorgigas, Kerry, absolutely deserving champions.
Yeah, the Sam Maguire has been away from the kingdom for a long time. Jack O'Connor just over offering his commiserations to Torrid Joyce. Jack said he wanted his players to enjoy it. I'm not sure if they were enjoying it too much during the first half. The introduction of the Spillanes at half-time certainly had a big impact. But, you know, Kevin, as well, Kerry in tight matches, like in the 56th minute, they got a burst up and a flurry of 4 unanswered points. That put them 16-14 ahead. They had been 2 points behind. Then Galway come back at them and hit them hard with 2 points to go level. And then they're able to push again.
Yeah. And then the finish, absolutely magnificent. You've referenced it a few times.
Okay, let's just give you the full-time score from the 2022 All-Ireland Senior Football Final. Kerry, 20 points. Galway, 16.